Hi there, this is the Divine Miss Mickey. I was hoping that, after a wonderful night last night with the gig, that tonight I'd be all bright-eyed, bushy-tailed and cheering but while we were at our gig last night, on the TV was an unfolding horrendous incident in Sydney. Eastern suburb of Sydney is Bondi, and you know about Bondi Beach, and just in from that is what's Bondi Junction, which is where there's a lot of shops and all this, and it's quite a trendy area, middle class to even getting into the higher class, and an area you would never expect what unfolded. If you haven't heard of it yet, there was a mass murder in Bondi Junction in the Westfield Shopping Centre. A 40-year-old Queensland man from a town, was it Toowoomba or Ipswich? I'll look it up in a sec. Anyway, it doesn't matter really. He has had a long battle with schizophrenia, and things were not good. He was not in a good shape. He'd gone to the shopping centre, and for about 3 hours before anything happened, he was wandering around. He stopped and had a meal. They said he was not in good shape. He was definitely having quite a psychotic episode, but like he was out of his body. And sadly, he went through after being in and out of the shopping centre for a while. He brought out a huge knife and he started stabbing people, mainly women. And maybe there's something to say about that. There are 6 people who lost their lives. One is the mother of a 9-month-old baby. The 9-month-old little girl was also stabbed. She's in a critical but stable condition. Someone has to be so mentally sick to do that to a child. Maybe that's just the mother in me. That is what has hit me the hardest. That a child, a 9-month-old child, hasn't even been here a year, and this horrendous thing happens. But there were 5 women and 1 man killed. The man that was killed was a security guard. It was his first day, first time doing the day at the shopping centre as a security guard. He was a refugee. He'd come here for safety, escaping tyranny. And this happens. Sometimes you just think, wow, why? But then you get, why not? What is the lesson? What can we learn from this? What is the purpose? I don't believe in things random. I believe that things happen for a reason. But sometimes it's hard to find the reason. I'm not going to pull any cards on this. I'm not going to do anything like that. I just want to talk. And, if there's anything you feel about this, please comment. But more than anything, I would like us all globally to send love to the families, to the loved ones, to the friends, to all of those affected by this massacre, by one man's mental illness that has caused so much hurt, so much pain. And I think one of the things that needs to be looked at is mental health services. I really feel that got a lot of sinus stuff going on. The mental health services in many countries leave a lot to be desired, and we're not too bad here. It does depend on the state you're in, because sadly some states have pulled a lot of funding out or not quite doing the right thing. And I think sometimes there needs to be some action taken before something disastrous happens, because there's always signs. And there were clearly signs with this lad. Well, he's 40 years old. But he'd been in mental health care in Queensland. It was reported for about 10 years. I'm going on the report, so that's the best I can do there. And somehow it got taken out of being in a mental health unit and put with a private psychiatrist. Clearly something went wrong. Something went wrong. So, what can we learn? What can we do? How do we stop these acts of what we think are mindless violence? I mean, there are some countries where it's like, oh, here we go again, here we go again. In Australia, it's like, what the... We rarely have this sort of thing. Yeah, we have gang violence, that's not unusual. It's also not every day. And youth problems and the things that have come with modern society. And it's not always handled well. This lad needed help. This man, he what was his name? Joel Couchy. I'm sorry, my eyes. Looks like it's a byproduct from having the virus, is having a lot of sinus and that problem, so. He didn't survive. So I hope that means he's at peace. Yeah. And what a thing to say about someone who's taken so many lives, but he was a soul himself. And he was a very troubled soul. And what happened for it to get to this point? He was living on the streets. Oh, I think it was the streets. No, what was it? They said in his car and in a storage shed for a month before this happened. He had moved down to Sydney. That was where he was living, and then he switched off. The words of witnesses was that his eyes were dead. He was not really there. That's a complete detachment. And he's had to face it. He's got his life review now. I couldn't prepare anything for this because it's just too... I don't want anything that's not real. I want to be raw with this and work through the feelings and the emotions and the thoughts that go with this. And I wanted to do it with you. And I know you're not here in the room with me, and I'm just in front of a phone recording this. But we're part of a global community. And there's so much going on. We can't turn a blind eye to it. We can't take, that's over there, doesn't affect me, or, well, you know, that's what happens. And I mean, all these things that come up. And, you know, we also can't bear the burden of his actions because they were his actions. But what led up to that? Where did things fall apart? And how can we grow? How can we change? What can we do to do our level best to stop this happening again and again and again and again? I mean, we have strict gun laws here. It does not mean that there's no shootings. Yes, there are. But they're not common. They're just not common. But knifing, stabbings, there's been quite a bit of a rise in that. You can't. How do you monitor knives? Knives are used in every kitchen. They're on farms, in butcher shops, in kitchens, like restaurants. I mean, knives are a part of life. So how do we monitor it? We can't. We can't. Logically, we can't. So we have to find another way. And that also leads me to the thing of with mental health. Is it maybe that mental health is treated too much in a black and white way? Too much in a sense of, okay, we're going to do this is how we do it by the book. Maybe it's time for the treatment of mental health issues to step outside the box. Maybe we need to look at other ways, not just the stock standard, because this is what can happen when things go wrong. And it's not always successful. So if the stock standard method is not working for someone, let's not just shove them off somewhere else. Let's find another way. And there's so many things that can trigger people. And there's so many foods and chemicals that affect the brain. How do I know this? Because I'm a person who is affected by things. I have a highly allergic system. And it's not always so easy. I don't get the psychotic and all that. But gluten is terrible for me. I'm a celiac that is affected mind, body, soul. is it possible that some of these people have got undiagnosed or misdiagnosed allergies? Are there alternative therapies that could help the part of the brain? I'm not an expert in this field, but the part of the brain that is misfiring, not working properly, that is switching on and off. I just think that there needs to be more thinking outside the box. More change. You want to come up, do you? Okay, I'll move that for you. It's little Skittles. Come on, up. Come on. You want to come and say hello? Come and say hello. Very serious subject, sir. How about you come? You've got to look over here. Over here. Look. Here. Yeah. Yeah. She's not one for being held, but sometimes she'll stay a bit longer. Okay, I'll put you down now. Okay. Oh, okay. Animals are very, very good when you're not feeling a bit down, a bit upset, or something's happened. Pat an animal, and it can make you feel good. Yeah, look at that tail. Look at that tail. So yes, there have been 6 people, 5 of them women, 1 man, that was the security guard. The mother of the 9-year-old, she gave her life for her daughter. Literally, as he attacked the daughter, she grabbed her daughter and just raced to these other people and gave them the daughter to get her out of here, as he was going at her. And she didn't make it. But I'm sure she's watching over her baby. She's there with her baby. And they're making their decision on which way. Because that's what the soul does. We make our choice. I was a young girl, 25. Being the daughter of a famous businessman means nothing in these situations, because she was the daughter of a very, very well-known identity in Australia, John Singleton. And only 25. She was about to get married. Life can change in the blink of an eye. So you've got to cherish it. There was another mother of 2, Jade Young, 47. Picria Dacia, 55. You've got 12 people that were taken to hospital, and from what I read before, 10 of them are women, 2 are men. At least one of them is a security guard. It was a female police officer who put her life on the line, and she was the one that shot him. Because he started to come at her, and she had no choice. And then when he was down, she tried to save his life. What an amazing woman. So, it's a lot to think about. And I mean, like I said, yeah, other countries it's like, oh, there's another one, this is horrible. Here in Australia, it's like, oh my God, we just don't have this sort of thing as a common occurrence. It's rare. We've just had few. And a shopping centre, these are big shopping centres, the Westfield. And I know Bondi Junction, and my family and I, we had a shop just outside of the junction area. And I've been around there, and I mean, this was many years ago, and I know a lot has changed. But it's a lovely area. It's the eastern suburbs of Sydney. Yeah, that is not your low income rough area or anything like that. This is a really lovely area for a city. I'm not a city person, but for a city, yeah. So what can we do? What keeps coming up in the cards is change ourselves. But I think this is more than that. I think this is not being complacent, not being apathetic, choosing to say, hey, things have got to change. Choosing to go, there's someone who needs help, and we need to find a way to help that person. Choosing to say, let's stop thinking inside the box when it comes to mental health and start thinking outside the box. How do I know that this works? Because I've lived it. I seriously have lived it. I was diagnosed with CPTSD. I had my tower moment in beginning of September 2023. And I chose, as part of my way of getting my life together, getting my health, being able to feel good about life, I very, very quickly, I knew that the tower moment was, it only took 24 hours for me to go, this is actually a good thing. But I still had to deal with the trauma, and 63 years of trauma. I had to deal with all that. So I started listening to a lot of frequencies, as well as I'd been doing EMD therapy. Well, doing the EMD, that has EMDR, that is amazing. It is very amazing. It's very simple. But when I added the healing frequency, and also I was no longer living in fear. I was no longer in a fight or flight scenario of being afraid of the dark energies that were around. I chose to do things different. I chose not to do what the doctors say should be done, and instead I chose to take control. And the frequencies worked. They worked so well. I detoxed my body, because I knew I was, by that stage, definitely knew I'd been getting gluten for a long time. I detoxed. I played these frequencies. I stepped outside the box, and it worked. Now, I'm not saying that's going to work for everyone, but you know what? Why are these things not given a go? It could make a huge difference. It really could. And sometimes being in that comfort zone of the box. It's always been done this way, so let's stick to it. Oh, this hasn't been scientifically. I mean, use it in conjunction. Use it together. Complementary. What do they call it? Complementary medicine, you know. There's no reason it can't work together. No reason at all. Why not? I'm sure there was a time when psychiatry was thought to be woo-woo, you know, psychology. EMDR, which has helped countless people to overcome trauma, to reprogram, reprocess, to desensitize, to see new perspective, to find themselves and find their way out of the trauma. Now, trauma is different to schizophrenia. I know that. But maybe there's a lot that's not being done that could make a difference. When I first found out about celiac disease and gluten, the effects of gluten, one of the things that I learnt was how it affects the brain for people that are sensitive to it. And, you know, I think there's a lot of people that are sensitive and really have no idea because they don't look it. I didn't look it. Yet when I learnt about it, because I knew nothing about it, and then someone close to me had a kinesiology allergy test. That's when it showed up. That's when I started learning. And it's amazing how the food you eat can either affect you positively or negatively. So these are just some thoughts. Yeah, and chemicals and perfumes. Perfumes, you know, you like to smell nice. Well, those artificial fragrances, which is what a perfume is, it's artificial. Yes, it might have a few natural things in it, but a lot of it is chemicals. That actually can really upset the chemical balance within the brain. Essential oils, they won't do that when they're pure. And that's what I use, pure essential oils. And there are medications that have big side effects. You can look at alternatives. And some people are going, how can you say that? You know, you've got to go on the medication. Well, I got fibromyalgia. I went all the way up to having high doses of fentanyl for the severe pain that I had. I'm not on any pain meds now. None. I've turned that around so much. Yeah, there's still pain. I still have problems, but a lot more of that is from the nerve compression in my spine. And I don't have any painkillers for that. So, I don't want this to be a big, you know, oh, me, but I'm working on processing and thinking of ways that we can stop the carnage. We got wars because of greed and ego and power and religion. Holy doly, wars over religion. Do you really think that's what God wants? Do you really think that's what Jesus came down here to say? Yeah, go fight that person who thinks different to you. Nah, that is not how it's meant to be. That's why I like to say I'm spiritual, I'm not religious. I don't follow any, I don't even follow any spiritual doctrine. I just am who I am with my beliefs, and yeah, there's a little bit of Buddhism in that, because I do love the just the peaceful. There's an energy in Buddhism that is really beautiful, and a lot we can learn. So that's, but I'm not Buddhist. It's probably the best way I can put it. I just have no set religion, and maybe we're better off like that. Why do we have to have, what is it that was said about false prophets and false idols? Is it possible that maybe some of the problem is worshipping the wrong messages, the wrong ideology? If you're in a religion that is about hate, revenge, anger, repent or else, where's the love in that? Where is the love in anything that talks about avenging? Because that screws with the mind. And we've got so many things going on. And this, I think part of the problem as well is that with the rising of the divine feminine energy, yes, women are coming up in more power roles, are in more positions of power. And why not? Why not? Maybe sometimes there's some jobs women are better at, and it isn't just raising the kids or giving birth. But the shadow side of that is that there's a lot more anger, animosity, and fear towards women who, and the taking of the roles, and then you get minds that are already twisted that hears things on the media, and the media needs to be accountable for some of its behaviour, because some of them are really bad. We've really got to, if we see something that is levelled at hate, fear, towards women or particular minority groups, and I don't like the word minority group, but in some countries, they are more of a minority. To me, they're just as entitled to be there. Doesn't matter whether there's 1 million of them or 10,000 of them. It doesn't matter. They're still souls. They're still people. They still have a right to be part of the global community. And when we know something, it goes against what is the true essence of love, the true essence of spirituality, the true essence of what Jesus taught, the true essence of Great Spirit, God, whatever name you want to give. When it goes against the true essence, maybe that's when we need to speak up. Maybe we need to speak up more about saying there has to be change. We can't continue the old ways because it's doing a lot of harm. And maybe the old ways let this man, at my age, 40 years younger, but maybe if things had been done different. And I'm talking about the system, because the reaction from the parents, from the family, says that they did what they could. And I can understand that. I actually can really understand that. So, I didn't want this to be a long video. It's already gone a lot longer. I'm processing a lot of this too, on top of everything. And the good thing is the gig went wonderfully. And it was an absolutely beautiful, wonderful, happy, joyous night. So I don't want this all to be doom and gloom. We all came together with music. There was a lot of love in the room. And this was an old historic, I guess it's historic, but it's an old country pub in a town called Wallerville. And it was really good. And my good friend Wendy, oh, she was glowing. She's my duo partner. And we are the Aura Girls. So in amongst all this madness and heartache and turmoil, there was love. And that's where I think we need to concentrate a lot more on love. But we can't bury our heads in the sand about what's wrong. We have to see it. We have to acknowledge this is happening. The shootings, the stabbings, the wars, the bombing, the misinformation, the manipulation of the truth. We cannot change anything if we don't acknowledge it, and we cannot change anything if we are silent. Because silence changes nothing. So, I didn't really want a heavy one, but this has really got to me. And maybe it's just all the eclipse energy and Mercury and all the stuff that's going on, and my mind's just going. And then I had a cry this evening about it. It was I could just feel the hearts breaking. That's one of the downsides of being an empath, is you feel those emotions, even if it's on the TV, and next thing you're bawling because you feel that emotion. It's not that you're the person affected, it's that you are feeling that. And that's hard. But you know what? I'm glad I can feel it. I'm glad I can do that. I'm not shutting it off at all. Because that's not doing right by myself. That's denying a part of myself that is part of what makes me me. But also, I can't help others, and I can't learn, and I can't grow so I can help others if I'm shutting down. Because that just, you can't learn anything that way. So, anyway, please Stay safe. Share love. If you see something that isn't right, if you are in any way can speak up, if any way you can help to make even the slightest positive difference, then do it. Because imagine what can happen if we all did that. How amazing would it be? Wow. We didn't get Leo tonight, did we? I think he's off maybe chasing bugs or something. You never know with him. So, please send love out to everyone that's affected in the world by the violence, by the bombings that are going on and the wars, and let's just send love out into the world. Let's just wrap this beautiful planet that we have. Let's wrap this beautiful planet in a bubble of love and see what can be achieved. It won't happen overnight, but as we keep doing it more and more, as we keep sending out love energy, change will happen. But we also have to do it on the physical 3D level, because at the moment that's what we're living in. And we have to work on the energies that we're living in, as well as create higher energies, as above so below. So I'm going to leave it at that. If you I'll see about if I'll look for a link maybe so you could see the story, and maybe at the end of this I'll put pictures of the victims. There's still one that's unnamed. We'll respect that, but if we can send out love and love for everyone, love for the homeless, love for the people starving in countries. Sometimes their government is not doing the right thing by them. And let's face it, there's not many governments that are doing the right things, but some are better than others. And I truly, truly believe that Australia's not too bad. We're actually doing pretty good. But this, yeah. I'm going to leave it at that because I'm feeling like I'm going to cry in a minute. And I'm not really that good when I cry. It's not a pretty look. Oh, I don't know. Maybe a dark on it. I'm probably a harshest critic. But, yeah. Sometimes I joke to cover up when I'm feeling stuff. I joke to sort of break the seriousness. And this is serious for us in Australia. But it's a reflection. If we start getting more of this happening here, that means we've really gone down a road. And we can turn around. We don't have to keep going down it. We can. And that goes with anywhere else in the world. You can turn around and you can choose to not keep going down that road of hate and anger and vengeance and hypocrisy and misogyny and racism and sexism and ageism and all these isms that are not positive. Instead, we can choose to live as a global community. And I'm going to tell you something. Here on YouTube, in the spiritual community, there is real community. Real community. I had today, just on one live show, and the love and the giving was beautiful. It was inspiring. And it filled my heart that was breaking for all these families and these loved ones and for what was going on, and seeing the beauty that was going in this live chat of people from around the world. And it's bringing tears to my eyes. No, it's just sinus. No, I'm getting emotional. I'm a wuss, I know. But I'm a good wuss. Wuss, if, I don't know if you use in other countries, but that's, like, it's probably not the right explanation, but I'm still on another planet. So, again, I'm going to say, it's like about 5 minutes after I said I was going to go, but I'm going to send you a lot of love. I've got all these ideas in my head for videos. Just got to get my energy back up, but I will be doing the next weekly numerology. Heads up, I couldn't resist. It was free shipping. I've got another 4 decks coming my way. I'm a bit of a bad girl, but couldn't resist free shipping. I'm always going to use them. They're ones I wanted. A couple I'd never seen before. The Buddhist ones, I thought, oh wow, the messages in that. How beautiful is that? And I just noticed in the camera, my nose looks really white. Well, maybe I need to be out in the sun a bit more. Or maybe I need a different light. Oh, there's the ego. We're allowed a bit of ego. Everyone is allowed a bit of ego. We're also allowed to laugh at ourselves. Because as long as you do it with love. You can go, gee, my bum's big. Yeah, but it's comfortable. See? Nothing negative about that. It's stating something obvious. And then seeing the positive in it. Extra cushion. So, this has taken a really strange turn. I'm going to leave it at that. Again, I hope you're all doing well. Let's survive all these energies and see what comes. This is an exceptionally interesting time in the history of humanity, and as we are going to see a lot of things unfold, and a lot of things will be uncovered, a lot of truths coming out, and that's a good thing. It's never a bad thing if truth comes out. It's always a good thing. So, put my hair down because we're the Aura girls and we've got these rainbow dresses, so I put my hair into rainbows. A couple of them broken off, but yeah, just fun. Okay, I'm going to send you loads and loads and loads of love, heaps of love. And Let's see how we go. Ideas, thoughts, always welcome. Please like, share, subscribe. You know the stuff. And it does help the algorithms, gets it out. And, you know, there might be one person that hasn't seen me, knows nothing about me, but there's something that I'm saying that's perfect for them. By working with the algorithms, it could actually wind up in front of them. Spirit says, look at that, because it's happened to me. And it's like, oh, okay. Bang, the light goes on. And that's how we work as a community, helping each other. So, I wish you all adieu. I hope that your hearts stay filled with love. And if it's if the love in your heart is a little bit low, find ways to fill it. It's really, really good for your health too. So, till next time. Bye for now.